What's happening, my debt-free millionaires, or at least future debt-free millionaires? That's right, we are on episode, I think, 54 of the season about personal finance. Now, this is the Debt-Free Millionaire podcast. My name is Zach Edwards, and I am producing this for you. I want to make sure that you are, 1, self-reliant, 2, not dependent on anyone else, which means self-reliant, and 3, that you are getting the best out of life financially. Other things that I don't cover, but financially, I want you to be able to be intentional and be able to get a lot more than you put out. And so this is a great way of learning how to be successful with a growth mentality. So there's a lot of different keywords that I put there. But the basic idea is it's either the growth mentality or success mentality. They basically have the same roots. Growth mentality is you continue to grow and become stronger, become more knowledgeable and such. Success mentality is the same thing. You want to become more successful. You want to do things that will make you grow and become more understanding, intelligent, successful in the way of finance, all these different things. So if you are starting a business, you want to be successful in your business. If you're starting work, say you just got out of high school or just out of college, we want you to be able to work and make something out of your life. And not just have a great career, which is great. We're not exactly covering that per se, but we are covering how to make more money, to think more responsibly when it comes to money, and to do things with money that you never thought you could do, such as making enough that you can give away to other people and be generous to others. So today we're actually going to be talking about one big topic, which is going to be, which will be how to increase your pay. Okay, so the last few days we've been talking about getting employment, what to expect in employment, and are you worth the money that you're being paid in your employment? Today we're going to be talking about how to get that raise. So most likely you are worth the amount of money that you're being paid currently. Now, if you're a hard worker, then there's a good chance that you're not being paid as much as you should be paid, and we can find ways of increasing that, even a small amount or even a large amount. But we're going to go through 5 main steps. First is to ask for a raise. It's that simple, but not that easy. I'm going to walk you through what you need to do if you're going to ask for a raise. The second one is get a second job. Maybe, let's just say you're in a bad economy, like right now, and your company is not growing, like right now, and that your employer will most likely not give you a raise because of the hardship that they're going through, the financial hardship, like right now. But you don't control what happens to them and how much they're going to pay you, to some extent. Like, you do control how much you can contribute, but the question is, can they actually increase your pay? Now, if it's during a great economy or your industry is doing really well, then by all means, ask for a raise, but don't do it yet. Don't do it yet, because we're going to walk you through the steps that you need to do in order to prepare to ask for that raise. Now, these are evergreen topics that we're going through, so you can actually go back through this podcast later on when you think you're to the point where you're ready to do that. Now, yesterday we talked about what are the qualities you need to get a raise or to get a promotion, and what you need to do in order to get there. So we're going to talk about, again, getting a raise. The second one is starting a second job. This could be anything from Uber, Grubhub. This could be working as a pizza delivery man. This could be working your same industry, but on a side gig. Those are all different second jobs. You could get those. And actually, as we saw from the charts yesterday, that's actually increasing as we speak. The part-time jobs are increasing. The amount of part-time jobs that are open are increasing right now. The full-time jobs are actually decreasing right now. Secondary jobs are increasing because a lot of the employers, they don't have the money to keep you on full-time, so they're making into part-time work, such as like fast food restaurants. When they used to have you on for full-time, now they're going to cut your hours because they're being forced to pay you $20 an hour. So they're going to work on not giving you benefits and cutting costs in order to keep their franchise open. Now, I don't know if you've seen it in the news, but there is one restaurant in particular that had to shut down 30 of its restaurants because of the hike in pay in California. Now, this is just in California. So they've gone down 30 restaurants because they could not keep them open because they had to pay labor so much. So that being said, let's go through a few other things. The third thing is you can start a business. Do you have a talent? Do you have a skill? Do you have something that other people would pay you for? Even if it's mowing a lawn and going around and doing a lot of lawns in your neighborhood, that brings up a good amount of money. So for about a half hour to an hour job mowing a lawn, you can get $40 per hour. That's what my son gets. That's so much more than I get. Well, got. As a full-time superintendent. Now, at the same time, he had to work for every single house that he got. But $40 an hour, which is better than my $32, $33 an hour as a superintendent. And as we go, I'm actually going to show you some of these salaries that people have, just so you know. Now, the next one is to start investing. Now, this will actually take risk. So this is the fourth priority. This is not the third priority of starting a business or secondary job or even asking for a pay raise. This is in the back end. Now, the fifth one is not risky, but it does takes a lot of intention. And this is stop spending money. If you save from the amount of money that you usually spend, $100 a month, that means you're earning an extra $100 a month every month. So for every dollar that you save from what you were spending the month before is basically another dollar that you're earning, and you can put into savings, you can put into investments, you can do a lot of different things with it. You can sit on it as an emergency fund. You could actually build up your emergency fund by saving $100 a month. After what, 20 months, so 2 years, your emergency fund would be full. And you could put additional money in there slowly over time. And again, what if you took that $100 and instead of spending it, you paid off your debt? You took that $100 and paid off a little bit more of your debt every month. You could literally double double the speed of some of your debts. So here's a lot of different things we're going to be talking about, but let's start off with pay raises. Okay, first thing, if you're going to go ask for a pay raise, you want to do this. You want to go online and you want to see what everyone else is being paid. Now, for me, when I was a superintendent, construction superintendent salary in Missouri, I was actually being paid around $66,000 a year. I didn't actually go here because I was returning to the industry. I came into the industry after having like a 5-year hiatus from construction. And because of that, I lowballed myself just a little bit in order to get my job. Then I was going to prove to them that I'm worth the money. Now, I was worth the money, except for the fact that that's when the economy started to turn. And when the economy started to turn, that's when I knew I could not ask for a pay raise. Now, I did get a small pay raise from the company. It wasn't that much, but it was something. It was $2,500 for a year. Now, that is something, but it comes out to about $100 every paycheck, which most of that goes in taxes, sadly, and benefits and everything else. So if I was to go in as a superintendent looking for a raise, I'd be looking for, I want to increase my pay at least to, if I was at 66, I'd want to get up to about $75,000 to $80,000. Now, they might not be able to say, I can give you $80,000. They might say 75. If you ask for 75, they might say 70. But you don't want to go too high either, because they might just say, we'll find someone else. So always know that the company that you're working for is always looking for, most likely, is always looking for new employees. And because of that, you do want to be cautious when going in front of them. At the same time, this brings up number 2, you might actually want to increase your education and your experience. By increasing your education and your experience, you are more valuable to your company, especially if you're basically teaching them how to get more money out of you. If you can make more money for the company, which is actually number 4, then the more money you make for the company, being the more experience that you have, the more education that you have, and such, the more the company should be paying you. Okay, so let's go off to the next one, is what's your history? What are your highlights of your business, of your work? Are they good highlights? Or are they bad highlights? Do you have times when your boss is correcting you a lot? If so, you might not be worth asking for that raise, because you might just make them question keeping you hired on. You want to make sure that you are doing your best, which means you never want to go into an interview for a raise or a meeting for a raise without making sure you are in this position that you need to be in order to get the best money going forward. So look at your history. And if you're going to go for more education or more experience, make sure your company knows that. So the next one is you should not be snooping around. I'm going to say that. But if you can hear what your other employees are being made or that are making in that same job, that's what you want to be able to use. Not as a weapon, but a part of knowledge. You don't want to say, well, I know that this person makes this amount. No, you never want to do that, because you're not supposed to know what others make. You can say a blanket statement saying, I know that some of the employees here are making X, Y, and Z. I would like to make it somewhere close to that. I mean, if you go all the way or even more than that, then they're most likely going to question hiring you on. But this is the way that you want to be able to make sure that you're in the right position to be able to ask for higher money. Now, if this is the salary of the average person in Missouri, but your company is only paying here, you might have to go outside your company, which brings up number 5. Number 5 is looking for other positions and other hirings. If there's another company out there that's hiring for a larger amount of money and it's a good economy, and you showed your expertise and your experience, and you've also gone out for more education and more experience, then you are ripe to go on to another company. But this is how you use it and still stay with the same company. Go out and interview. Make that interview with that other person. And we've already had a conversation about going and interviewing, but go and interview with this other company. Get a job offer, but don't respond. Take that job offer and bring it to your boss so that they can see what someone else is offering you. Now, they might not be able to offer you the full thing, but then you can balance. I like this company. I like it. I'm loyal. I want to stay here. They're not willing to pay me exactly what the other one's being able to pay me, but you keeping your seniority. Remember, seniority is very strong. The more senior you are, the more likely you will keep your job. So if you can increase your pay, get a pay raise, maybe not to the full extent of the other company who's trying to get people to leave their jobs and start working for them, but you're going to show your loyalty, your company actually might say, hey, you know what? We're willing to pay you almost that amount, and you keep your seniority. That is a big thing. So asking for a raise, smart thing. Now, while you're looking for a pay raise and going through all this information, just know that the company does not owe you to give you that raise. There is nothing you're currently doing or you're still doing that obligates them to pay you a higher wage. Now, if you go out and do the work that you were asking about, so if you go out and get experience in education in your line of work, then you have some more to play ball with. You have more to negotiate with them, but they're still not obligated to do that. So if you're going to go in for this interview, do not expect that they're obligated to get there, to pay you more. Also, let them know that you're coming. Do not just walk into the office and say, I want a pay raise. Make an appointment. Even giving a little bit of highlight. I'd like to talk about my employment here. Leave it at that. That's it. That's all you have to say. And then the employer will know, okay, there's something going on. I want to talk to this person as soon as possible because they're valuable. Again, if you made yourself valuable and if you work hard, but again, make that legwork before you go into the office. If you go in currently and you're not doing anything more than everyone else, they're less likely to give you that pay raise. So again, the third one, be early. Sit outside their office. Do stuff that will allow you to be there when they're ready. Don't come too early, but don't ever be late. Now, also, when you get into this meeting, be very upbeat. Be very happy, very positive. Don't be, you need to give me this money. I'm entitled to this money. If you do that, you are entitled to leave and lose your job. That's all you're entitled to. If you demand things from the company, they will demand you to leave. And not just leave the room, leave the company. The next thing is, if you have any questions, if you're going to get the pay raise, it might be a good time to ask them, in the next 2 to 4 months, what can I do to prove that I deserve a raise? It gives a softball answer, but it also gives them a ultimatum that in 2 to 4 months, you expect to have a raise, and you're going to do what they've asked you to do in order to get you that raise. So let's just say, let's go past this. Let's do another private company. Okay, so private companies would be hiring you on to become a pilot. If you go in to be a pilot, you should expect somewhere around $100,000. Now, if you're working for them and you lowballed yourself or prices have gone up, you can expect that you should be able to go into there. Here's the thing, and there's a few more items of things to do before your interview. I'm going to hold that off until, well, you can read it in the book, because I want to go into this next point. Now, if you go in for a pilot, you might actually have a union here, but you might not. If you don't have a union, you can actually go in the office and ask for a pay raise. If you're part of the union, you can't. Now, you might say, I'm going to leave and threaten them, and then they'll have to say, well, if I really, really want this person, I need to find additional money for them. There are ways of getting around the union levels, because when you're in a union, most government entities, whether you're a police officer, there's a union there, or a teacher, there's a union there. There's a set amount of money that you're entitled to. You're not entitled to any more, and you're not entitled to any less. But the union basically works out with the government to get you the best pay raise possible for everyone. Those that are not working hard, as well as those that are working hard. And if you're one that's working hard, you might want to go look for a private company, because the government is not going to pay you as much as you could earn in the private industry if you're a hard worker. Now, if you're not as much of a hard worker, then stick around. You're getting a guaranteed pay, and the union's going to work for getting that pay. And if you're an average person, stay in the union. The union is, again, going to give you the average pay. But again, if you want to work hard and you want to get more money, you're not going to find it if you're in a union, because they will not increase your pay, because everyone is equal within the union. Those that don't work hard and those that do work hard. So that's something to know. Now, what's interesting, the police union. So it's just like being an elementary school teacher. 57,000, 53,000 is the low. Now they are earning $61,000 more than a teacher. So the average teacher in Missouri, at least, 51,000. Well, the police officers are 61,000. But here's the big thing, and this is what everyone needs to know when it comes to school teachers. And again, my wife works in education. 61,000, and they work 12 months out of the year. Elementary school teachers work 9 months out of the year, and they still make 51,000. So there's 4 quarters in a year. They work 3 quarters. So what's this if they're working all 9 quarters? So let's just see. Divided by 3 would give you somewhere around just under $20,000. Let's say $15,000. We'll lowball. About $15,000. If they were working the full 9 months out of the year, they would be making $66,000 to $70,000 a year. Look at that. They'd be making more than a police officer if they're working 12 months a year, because the police officer makes their money off of 12 months a year. Look back at construction manager. This is where I was. They'd be making about the amount I make working for a private company. Not as much as this one, but how much I did make when I was just coming back into the industry. So think of that when it comes to the pay that teachers get. Their greatest benefit is the summers off. They actually like the summers off. They also like those that don't like the summers off get a second job and make a lot of money during that time, including real estate, where they can make $20,000 a year if they put all their time and effort into just real estate. Though at the same time, it does get hard to find new clientele and such when you're working full time. But again, I know a lot of people that have retired from education to become real estate agents, and they started the real estate agents, started selling 5 years before. So these are all different things to know when it comes to starting a with that pay raise. Now, another thing to know is getting a second job. These are very easy. Uber, Grubhub, your pizza delivery, if they do pizza delivery anymore. So those are easy ones. We're going to bypass that. The next one is starting a business. Now, we're going to have a whole season on starting a business, and everything from the very small to the very big ideas when it comes to starting a business. So we're going to hold off on that one as well. The next one is investing and taking the risk. Now, this is a big one, but this is the amount that you should be doing at all times anyways. Every time you earn money, you should put it into some sort of investment. Now, lower risk would be like a 401k and putting it into a mutual fund, or an IRA and putting it into a mutual fund. The more risky ones would be like cryptocurrency or put in the stocks. Those are all risky, but there's great returns sometimes. The last one, we've talked about this so many times, and we're going to continue to talk about it all the time, is stop spending so much money. If you want to make more money, stop spending as much money. If you're able to do that, you can start increasing your salary, not from your company, but what you can actually keep for savings, for investment, for doing things that are fun. All those things will increase the amount of money that you stop spending. If you save $100 on groceries, that's $100 you can spend somewhere else, including paying off debt. If you pay off your debt, you can then later on spend that money for other things, more enjoyable things, because your debt's all paid off. So knowing that, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Feels like I have a bug on my neck. Okay, sorry, little personal thing there. But if you have any questions, please email us. Again, that we will get to all your emails, all your correspondence, and we will get back to you as soon as possible with more information. Tomorrow, we're going to put you through an activity when it comes to finding a better job. So stay tuned to that. Thank you so much for joining us on this another episode of the Debt Free Millionaire, and we will talk to you next time. Take care. Bye.